And then I'm like, downright fierce. And she's like, sir, that's not a pizza topping. And I said, all right, pepperoni. Hi. I told you it was lame. I told you it was the anti-joke.
It was all right.
Really? It was okay? All right. Let us know in the comments what you think below. Anyways, hi, welcome to Downright Fierce Gaming. We do video game stuff for you. Right there, that's our new tagline. Just came up with it. My name is Josh Asensio. With me is...
Tristan Haynes.
And...
Christopher Donald Stanton. What's up, jabronis?
Donnie. No. Typically when he's... Oh my god, I just realized this is the first time you guys...
Yes, it is.
Oh, this is not the first time you've met.
Yes, it is.
Is it the first time we met?
I think
my
so.
god.
Oh, well, here we go.
A first here on Downright Fierce Gaming.
Either I'm a really terrible person,
I thought
or
we'd
it's the
met.
first time we've met.
Maybe, I don't know. I probably won't remember you next time we do this.
All right. So we're a video game podcast. We release new episodes every Monday on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, your mom. I'm just full of non-funny jokes. Let's just do the news. Let's just go right into this. This is I was going over the news today, and there's nothing happening. I mean, there's a couple things, but this might be a very short episode. We'll see. So the first thing in the news is Rockstar Games has announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 will be delayed from fall of 2017 until the spring of 2018, claiming some extra time is necessary to ensure that we can deliver the best experience possible for our fans. We are very sorry for any disappointment this delay causes, but we are firm believers in delivering a game only when it's ready. We are really excited to bring you more details about the game this summer. Now, with that news, they also released 7 new screenshots from the game, which look really cool. They look really awesome, and honestly, I'm fine with this. You know, there are very few companies that I would say, hey, take as much time as you want. Rockstar is definitely one of those games. If they say they need more time, they actually need more time. It's totally fine. Take 2 years. I don't care. But what do you guys think?
Release a game when it's done, not when your release date was.
Yeah, I mean, it's Rockstar, and
I mean, it's also not the first time that they've had a delay.
Oh, not at all. Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5, 4, definitely. 4, I think, got like 3 or 4 delays. I mean, it was a long time. I remember that.
They can put the finishing touches on it and take as long as they want, as long as it's ready to go.
Yeah. All right, very short episode. A new Dragon Age game was possibly accidentally leaked by BioWare writer Alexis Kennedy in an interview with Eurogamer. So Alexis said, notionally, which I also did not know was a word, notionally, I like that word, notionally, it was a secret, but because of who I was working with, everyone who cared knew. And then the day I started, Mark Dara, executive producer of Dragon Age franchise, tweeted saying, welcome to the Dragon Age franchise. So I thought, well, I guess that's official now then. So when IGN reached out for EA for confirmation, the company representative replied that it's a pleasure having Alexis involved with BioWare. We have no new information to share regarding Dragon Age at this time. So I think A, somebody's getting fired. B, how do you accidentally release that information? How do you not just ask your superiors like, hey, so before I tweet this, before I say this in an interview with a major video game media medium, I guess, how do you not ask permission or just clear it up?
She wanted more followers,
I guess. Yeah, I mean, and now she's gonna have a whole bunch. Because...
Is it really that big of a deal? I mean, like, if she had tweeted like a picture of the logo or the title of the game or a release date or any sort of info. I mean, we know another Dragon Age game's coming out.
I mean,
they make 2 games.
We could safely assume that one will be. But I mean, at the same time, video games are completely different from movies. As soon as an idea for a movie comes out, they'll be like, hey, we're thinking about making this movie, or we're planning on making this movie. But video games are so sensationalized that they want that big reveal, that big E3 or some kind of press conference reveal where they show it and everybody loses their minds. And, she kind of just took that away from them. This is now, I mean, even if it's not confirmed, even if it's not going to happen for a while, when this happens, when they do announce that, it's not going to be as exciting just because this person said that.
I mean,
so?
No. As soon as we all guess at E3 anyway, and you're watching the conference and you see, as soon as you see like a sword or a dragon or something, you're gonna go, I bet this is the new Dragon Age. Like,
I mean, yeah, and they usually start with BioWare, so you see BioWare,
right.
and then you hear which is what the sound of dragons make.
That's exactly how they sound. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that was pretty good. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's gonna change any of the hoopla. It's not like they're announcing like a Shenmue 3 or Final Fantasy remake, or to get that kind of reaction. I think people are going to be excited about it regardless, and I don't think it matters.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not going to be excited. I'm saying that they're going to lose their surprise factor.
I just don't think it's a surprise that a new Dragon Age game is coming out, and I think if they were to show a trailer at E3 for it, we didn't put that on any of our prediction lists.
No, I mean,
because
that's true.
to me, it's just kind of like an obvious choice.
Okay, so I'll say this. It's no surprise there will be a Grand Theft Auto 6.
Right.
Nobody is going to say that, no, that's definitely not going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. We have no idea when it's going to happen. I think that's the same thing with Dragon Age. It's not like they're necessarily due for a Dragon Age game anytime soon, especially since the last one was such a big hit that they want to make sure that they polish it up and they make it. I mean, especially if this is a writer, if they just have a writer for this game, probably not at E3 this year.
Yeah.
Probably going to be, a couple E3s. So, again, now we're going to be speculating every E3. Is this the year that Dragon Age comes out? Are they going to do that? What's going to happen? And so when it finally does happen, it goes, we go, yay, it's finally happening, as opposed to, what? Oh my god! The sound that gamers make when they
that
get
sounds
excited.
like dragons too, right?
That's
If there's ever a time for a leak to happen, it's probably a good time that it happened now. And we're about to have E3 come up in a couple weeks, so as long as they don't talk about it anymore, people will just forget about it with all the new stuff that is announced, and it'll kind of go back on the back burner. So I think that could give them back the hype that you're talking about.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's true. I still think. Oh, now here's the thing, though. Do you think that they would get fired over that?
No.
I mean, in especially video games, people who leak stuff typically get fired. Typically, I mean, maybe not even typically, but they get they get a slap on the wrist and they get in trouble. I mean, Rockstar, when it comes to leaks or anything, I can't even say who I know in Rockstar. I know somebody, and probably even that could get me in trouble and get them in trouble. I don't know. Probably not, because I don't think anybody at Rockstar watches this. But I tried to get an interview with them for the podcast, and they can't, even with an approved, I gave them all the questions I was going to ask. They knew exactly what it was going to be about, and not even about necessarily any upcoming games. This is back before Red Dead 2 was announced, and there was the rumors of that, and I was messing with them like, hey, how's that Red Dead game coming along? And obviously they couldn't say anything, but he couldn't even do an interview because they take that so seriously. Any kind of leak, any possibility of a leak, even if the questions are approved, they won't take that chance.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I think it's maybe not fireable, but okay, how about this? At the very least, I think this is going to affect the possibility of this person getting work in the future.
Possibly.
I think.
Depends on how good of a writer they are.
A stretch. I mean,
That's true.
if they don't have like a handler for that interview that's specifically telling them not to mention any of this stuff, I don't see that they cared that much that it did leak. I mean, they probably didn't want it to happen, but I mean, especially the way you talk about Rockstar, the way they have everything locked down, they don't have anything like that going on. Doesn't seem like a huge concern.
Also, on a slow news week, I don't know that article would have been published on a busy news week.
Right.
No, I mean, that was actually me pulling out what I could from different sources. It was IGN. That's usually what I do. I mean, secret's out before. If you want to get a sneak peek at what each episode is going to be about, just look at IGN, Kotaku, Eurogamer. Just look at their news feed, and then I probably got my information from there. One day we're going to be a source for news.
Sure.
In 12 years. So Xbox Game Pass went live this week. That's pretty cool. For Xbox Live Gold members, they are going to be able to take part in a 14-day free trial to over 100 Xbox 360 and Xbox One games, which include all the Gears of War games except for 4, BioShock, Halo 5 Guardians, Sunset Overdrive, Braid, Mad Max, and Spelunky. So there's a whole bunch of games, but I went through the best ones, I think. How awesome is this? It really makes me want to buy an Xbox One now. Of all things, I mean, the exclusives weren't doing, but this is just so freaking cool that this isn't like PlayStation Now. This is, you download the whole game and you just keep it as long as it's in the library
available to download.
Yeah, and then if they take it out of the library, they'll give you a discount to buy it.
That's smart.
mean, this is
how much per month is it?
I forgot. This is like, I think this was the first week we ever did a podcast that we talked about it.
Yeah, I just don't remember if they had a price.
They did. I want to say it was like 15, which isn't bad.
That's like a typical price for that kind of service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing we were worried about were the games. Like, are these going to be good games? And I mean, I haven't played Braid. I would love to play Braid. I definitely want to play Sunset Overdrive, and to be able to play all of the Gears of War games back to back. I mean, I think it's a great value, and even to go back in the back catalog and play old 360 games. I mean, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think if it gains popularity, we'll see better games. We'll see newer games. I mean, Mad Max is fairly new. Halo 5 is definitely
fairly new.
So, I think that they're going pretty hard with this to start with, and I think it's a great idea. I think it's awesome, and I want to do it. I want to get an Xbox. Somebody give me an Xbox.
If I had an Xbox One, I would probably do it.
Yeah, same.
Depending
At least
on
the
price.
trial.
Yeah. Oh, the trial for sure.
I mean, I did the trial.
Foolish not to.
Did you do the trial with PlayStation Now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a little latent. I thought.
A tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And my issue with that too was the price. Like, it just with the catalog that they had, I didn't really feel it.
And it wasn't PS4 games. It's still not PS4 games, right?
Correct.
I think it's just up to PS3.
Yeah.
So they're already one-upping them with having.
And so you said this is not streaming. This is actual. You download it and
you download it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds better.
Yeah, absolutely. So in other news, Square Enix recently dumped. So we covered this recently. They dumped a developer, IO Interactive, the makers of Hitman, Kane and Lynch. So we were speculating, how are they going to continue with this? How is IO Interactive going to make a new Hitman? Who's going to pick it up? Now, obviously, we're a very small operation. We don't know the inner workings of the game industry. But it turns out that it is not up to the developer. It is up to the publisher. At least in this scenario, Square Enix and Enix, whatever. He says as he argues with himself. Square Enix owns Hitman, at least in this scenario. So it turns out that they might actually be continuing that franchise. According to a transcript from the company's recent briefing with investors, Square president, I'm going to mess this up, Yosuke Matsuda.
Huh? I think you got it.
I think I got it. He said, because the firm is engaged in the development of Hitman and other renowned titles, we are negotiating prospective external investors capable of ensuring that these titles carry on. Now, here's something really interesting about that. One, he's talking about Hitman, so more Hitmans. I mean, they were supposed to do 3 seasons of the new of content, and so it sounds like they're going to continue that, which is awesome. But one very key phrase here, where'd it go? And other renowned titles. Name one other renowned title from IO Interactive other than Kane and Lynch.
Can't.
That's the thing. Like, I think what was the Freedom Fighters? Didn't they do Freedom? Yeah, they did Freedom Fighters, which was a great game. I mean, and they should bring that back because that was a fantastic game. But more realistically, renowned titles, Kane and Lynch was pretty big when it came out. Could you imagine a next gen Kane and Lynch?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care? What?
I didn't like either one of them.
Yeah,
and the second one like tanked.
It tanked.
Like
and
horrible reviews.
Yeah, it was garbage, but the first one was fun.
I didn't like it at all. It did nothing for me. It was a lot of hype, and then I played it, and I was like, okay, I played it for like an hour and didn't like it.
Okay, well, I mean, then just, imagine the content. So forget the gameplay, okay, because it's outdated anyways. Let's say the story of Kane and Lynch taken into modern, third-person action a la Grand Theft Auto. No, maybe not even Grand Theft Auto, but like, and I don't even want to say Uncharted, but that kind of gameplay just brought into a narrative third-person action game. Max Payne 3. Like Max Payne 3.
It wouldn't do anything for me.
Doesn't even make your penis move a little bit?
No.
Not even a little bit? Mine jerked. Well, I have no pun intended, but mine like just for a second, just kind of.
It's because you like everything.
I love everything. I do. Okay, well, guess I'm alone on that one. Let's move on to going back in 2009. It was announced that we were getting an Uncharted movie. all the way back then. I didn't even know it was that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was maybe a couple of years ago. No, this is back in 2009. It was announced we were getting a new Uncharted movie, an Uncharted movie. Over the years, it has frequently been gaining and losing directors and actors, including the new addition of Spider-Man Homecoming star Tom Holland, cast as a young Nathan Drake. This movie is now also going to be a prequel to the main Uncharted saga, and the current director is Sean Levy, who worked on Stranger Things. Should this happen, are we actually excited that this is going to happen, and what are the chances it's going to suck?
I'm very excited about it. At first, I was like, why are they going young? But it kind of makes sense if they need. I'm not sure what company's behind it. Does it say what company's? It's not.
I have no.
But you got to think if you cast like a guy in his mid 30s, mid to late 30s.
Nathan Fillion.
Right.
There's only
But, yeah,
one
he is
actor.
Well, right, but-
There's only one actor that could play a modern Nathan Drake. That's Nathan Fillion.
Or
There's no or.
no, I can't think of his
Nathan Fillion?
no.
No, I know you're talking about Nathan Fillion.
No.
Yeah.
And his name escapes me now. The guy
Nate Fillion?
the guy who does his voice. The guy who plays Nathan Drake.
Not Troy Baker.
No,
Is it
Troy Baker's
No,
the
it's,
Troy Baker. Nolan North.
Nolan
North. If he did about 6 months of working out, he could totally beat Nathan Drake because he is. But anyway, he's not a big enough star. But no, I think the reason why they're going younger is to have like a 20-year franchise on their hands. I mean,
That
if
is
you look
the
at,
theory, yeah.
we just got a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. This is the 5th one, and they started 19 years ago.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So
I'm amazed people still care
I think
about that.
no, it wasn't 19 years ago. It was 15 years ago. Excuse me. So
Still.
yeah. So and Johnny Depp's like almost 60, I think. So I think if they start younger, Tom Holland can be making Uncharted 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Kind of like Harry Potter.
Right. Right. Exactly. And the fans of the franchise aren't strangers to it because spoiler alert, there are times in the game where you play as a younger Nathan Drake. So I think it's cool. I think if they get like a George Clooney or somebody of that ilk to play Sully.
Tom Hanks.
We already talked.
Yeah, we did.
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan
Nathan
Fillion.
Fillion.
Yeah, get Nathan Fillion.
That would actually be really cool. But
to play Sully is what you're saying.
to play Sully, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I hope it happens. There's been a lot of people Sean Levy's actually done other things. He did Real Steel. He did I want to say the Night at the Museum franchises. So he's no stranger to doing like fun action. But I've been wanting an Uncharted film forever.
Okay, but and I know we've had this conversation. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far, but what are the chances that it would be good, though?
I mean, traditionally, video game movies are terrible.
We already have Indiana Jones, which is what Uncharted would be. Yes, no.
Well, we
no.
really don't have Indiana Jones, though.
We don't have a modern, good Indiana Jones. I'll give you that.
Finish that sentence. Hence, Uncharted.
Okay, but how do you make an Uncharted movie and not have it look like an Indiana Jones movie?
Easily. Nathan Drake isn't Indiana Jones.
See?
It's working.
Yeah.
He's not Indiana Jones.
I mean,
Like Nathan Drake makes a lot of mistakes.
He kind
he
of
doesn't
is.
always get the girl.
As far as like action and stuff like that goes, as far as the kind of sloppy, like he's always, that was kind of the thing about all of the Uncharted action sequences. It really took me out of the game. It's like he's just constantly like tripping. He's just in a constant.
Right, yeah.
Whoa!
But I think But I think that if you take the fact that he is a treasure hunter, or you know what I mean, if you take that like element out of it, I think, and if you replace it with he's a professional something else, I don't know, then the Indiana Jones comparisons cease. I think it's the type of what his character does that elicits those comparisons. Other than that, I don't really find them comparable, especially if you've got like a 19-year-old actor playing him. So I think it's going to come across as completely fresh, especially since if you're 25 and under, you don't really care about Indiana Jones. You know,
that is true. I mean, it's that's
a good point,
actually a very valid point.
You know what I mean?
Actually, well, I mean, there is still Indiana Jones 4, which
It's garbage.
Well, it's garbage, but here's the problem: is that now you have a generation of people who are paying to go see movies and playing video games that don't realize that it's garbage.
Well, I also think
that was their Indiana Jones. It's kind of like the Star Wars thing with the episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Right, and I agree with that. But I would be willing to bet that people under the age of 25 have spent more time with Nathan Drake than they have with Indiana Jones.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think it's definitely geared for success, as long as it, they do it right.
All right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. I realize I don't say that enough. We gotta push this Facebook thing, because we gotta start a little community thing. We gotta start talking more. I miss you guys. I miss all of you.
Please ask us questions.
That's just so. So let's talk about Far Cry 5. Yeah, I was so wrong last week. I was so wrong. I was like, because the big thing. I know you don't watch our show.
Not when I'm
even
not
though
on.
you're on it. Yeah. You don't even watch like the ones that you're on, do you?
I do. I watch
You
them.
do? Oh, okay. So
Only those ones.
Only those ones.
And I cover up like
Yeah.
2/3 of the screen, and I just watch me.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's a lot of silence.
Look at that freaking.
I'm totally joking. No, I watch them.
Oh my god! Now I forgot his name. From Walking Dead.
Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion. Negan. Look at that Negan-looking dude.
Do I look like him?
I really think
That's
so.
a compliment, dude. Jeffrey Dean
I know.
Morgan
We talked
is a
about
handsome.
this. We talked about this.
He's
yeah.
a handsome man.
Hey, you're a handsome man.
Thank you.
So
I will take that.
I wish I had his voice.
I usually
that
get
guy's
told.
voice is
yeah,
amazing.
I usually get told him or Jake Gyllenhaal.
No.
Or Samuel L. Jackson,
I just
which is
get
really
Will
weird.
Wheaton. I just get Will Wheaton. That's it.
Yeah, I get that you
That's
look
not
like
that
me. People tell me that
Yeah.
we look. Yeah,
That's true.
That's strange.
That's because you're my father. So we have some new information about Far Cry 5. So my whole thing was, okay, so I don't know if you saw this, with Far Cry 5, they just released the title, and the Far Cry had a blue outline, and the 5 had a red outline with the white letters and white background. So everyone's like, oh, it's America. It has to be red, white, and blue. There's no other country in the world that has red, white, and blue. None. That's it. We're the only one. That's it. So I had this whole big theory because they showed the island from Far Cry 3 and mentioned Voss, and they said it's an island we never truly left. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to have something to do with Voss. Nope. It's in Montana. Damn it. Wrong again. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be a very controversial game. Extremely controversial. The game takes place in Montana, like I said. You play a sheriff's deputy caught up in a war between a U.S. Marshal Service and, turning the page, Hope County's resident cult leader, who is leading a Christian militia against the government. So, I think just like with Mortal Kombat, when that game came out, people are going to, and Bully was the biggest one. When Rockstar released Bully, I think that the media is going to take things completely out of context, and they're going to say you are playing, because you could choose sides. You could choose to go with the militia, you could choose to help out the government. So they're going to take out context, and they're going to say this is a game about overthrowing the government, coming out in a time when Trump is president, and liberals and snowflakes and all this, and they just this is dangerous and we shouldn't have our kids playing this. Guarantee you. I mean,
Kids shouldn't be playing it.
Well, no, I mean that I agree. Okay,
well, it should be up to whoever.
It shouldn't be a video game, because video games are catered to children.
No, that's garbage.
Children. Shit, we're making a freaking podcast here. I don't know. I just so now I'm curious. How far do you think they're gonna push it? How far of a cry do you think they're gonna push it? You think they're gonna push it all the way in there?
Full on. Yeah.
They're just gonna go They're gonna go deep with it. Just gonna push it right in there.
They're push it real good.
Bam, 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 bam. All right, that was weird. So Far Cry, I mean, they definitely push the envelope when it comes to different elements. I remember 3 spoilers. You have sex at the very end with like the main kind of bad guy or girl, kind of good girl, like is kind of whatever. She's a little bit messed up, and you see boobies, and you hear very faint sounds that are very specific, and I'm not going to describe them any further. But I remember hearing them, like, man, that is very graphic. Very graphic.
Does it sound like dragons?
Ah! That's the sound she made. So they have no problem pushing the envelope as far as that goes, but they don't typically push the envelope when it comes to story. I mean, they had torture, they had sex, they had all kinds of weird stuff like that, but they've never really pushed the envelope when it comes to story, because these are all fictional islands, they're all fictional characters. Just everything's fictional, and now we're getting into some real world stuff where you can compare it to real world events. I think they're going to go for it. I think they're going to push it. I think it's going to be controversial, and I think that's going to get them a lot of press. Now, do you think that kind of press would be good? I mean, they say, no press is bad press, but at the same time, video games kind of get enough flack for being controversial. And
have they in a while, though?
Yeah, there was this game, Hatred, that came out.
Yeah.
And it was the dumbest thing because it was like made by like one dude, and you go around in a trench coat, ironically, and just execute people. And the way you get your health back is by executing civilians. You don't even get it back by, I think, executing police. Like, you just go around killing people. But it's made by one dude.
Right, that's not...
It's,
Ubisoft.
Like, that's like saying, hey, freaking movies are bad for people because somebody made a snuff film.
Right.
I mean, you can't really judge an entire, media source like
Plus,
that.
snuff films aren't that bad.
No, it's very hard. Nope.
They make a killing?
See, I was going to go really dark with that, and that was good.
I think they should go as controversial as they want. And we've been having first-person shooters based around real-world events, locations, and stuff for years. Case in point, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, where you shot up an airport.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and that got on the news, and they took that out of context.
It's art. I don't think there should be any limits to it.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I think the media probably will jump all over it, especially if Christians are. So you said that it lets you pick.
Well, I mean, it's like any Far Cry game where you do get to like
align yourself.
Align yourself with the clan. So, and they made it very clear that they're not going to have either side be the obvious one. So, you have crazy radical Christians. Now, I'm not saying anything against Christians. These are radical. This is like West Baptist Borough, whatever.
Westboro Baptist Church.
That's it. It's like them, but extremely violent. Like, they are torturing people. They are like, the cover art shows this guy with his hands bound behind his back and his head slumped down, and like sinner is carved into his back. Like, it is extreme. Yeah. So
when their countries, I think it's 75% of this country are practicing Christians, there's probably going to be people upset about it.
Oh, absolutely.
I say, who cares?
No, I mean, yeah.
Make it as controversial as you want. Make it a good game.
And I mean, it at least looks like the story's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're not going to be able to necessarily pick a side that is right, because then on the other side, I'm sure that that when you're working for the Marshal, the U.S. Marshal, that they're also going to be shady. They're also going to be oppressive or whatever. So whatever extreme version of government, it's going to be one side or another. I mean, I don't know.
I think they should go for it.
They should go for it. I mean, I definitely don't think that they shouldn't go for it, but and again, no press is bad press. I was trying to see any reason why bad press could be bad for this, but it's really not. I mean, more people are going to buy it, and and here's the thing too, more kids are going to buy it because of that. You tell a kid something they can't do, they're going to want to do it. That's why I really wanted to play Mortal Kombat when that came out. It's because I saw it on TV and they're like, oh, it's the most violent game ever. Children should not play that. I'm like, oh, I should play that. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to happen with this. All right, good talk, guys. Good talk. Oh, man. Well, that's all the news. That's it. Like,
it has been 30 minutes of news.
It's been 30 minutes, but typically we go a little bit long. We have a talking point. What do you guys want to talk about? I got nothing. Let's just go home.
I beat God of War 3 remastered, and then I picked up Uncharted 4 and started playing that again.
Cool.
It's just fantastic.
I had bagel bites earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm nearing the end of Persona.
Cool.
And it's
really.
I can see it. Yeah.
You can see the end.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Getting a little tired of some of its stuff, but overall.
Does it get repetitive?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, anything that you do for 60 to 70 hours, that's going to happen.
That is true. I did prepare, though. We're not going to end early. I prepared for the fact that we didn't really have any talking points. So that's pretty much just it as far as news goes. So the viewer questions is going to go extra long, like probably about an hour or so.
Oh, good.
No, not an hour. But we have I stole a lot of viewer questions. If you have questions for us and you want to ask us in the comments, you can comment on facebook.com/downrightfearsgaming. You can send us a message. You can comment right now if you're watching the live stream, but I'm going to use these in the meantime. So the first one is, what is your favorite console? I'll start. I will say actually the PS4, just with the PSVR, with the graphics and stuff. And I would have to, say PS4 Pro, just because, it's the best PS4. So graphics, PSVR, all that stuff, I would say that is currently my favorite console. What about you, Tristan?
Are we allowed to count PC, or is it specific to console?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
No, you can't say PC because, PC's always going to be the best. That's kind of the thing. It's unfair. It's like, oh, what's your... I don't know. You can't pick PC. It has to be console.
When you first said this question, I was thinking PS4 as well, but looking back, I kind of want to say GameCube right now, just thinking about the games that I played on.
Really good
I had a good time. It wasn't the best console, but
yeah. No, that's
barring the Mario Party games, it was.
No, I think that's what made GameCube great. Actually.
Oh yeah, when they added the microphone, that was a great addition to an already garbage game.
What about you, Chris?
Either Super Nintendo or Dreamcast.
Oh.
Probably Dreamcast.
I was going to say, you got to pick one, and you know what? I think I would say my second favorite would be Dreamcast. Even though it didn't have that big of a library, the games that were on it were so much fun.
Yeah.
Come on, Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yep.
Fantastic. We do have a question. We actually have two questions. We got a quick one from Mark Mayfield. He wants to know, pizza rolls or bagel bites? I would say pizza rolls.
I'm going to say bagel bites.
I'm going to say neither. Just cook up a Totino's. Just get it done. You don't need to get all fancy with it. It's not figure skating.
You got to pick one, man.
It's not. No, I don't. I'm picking Totino's pizza.
Gun to your head.
Well, Totino's makes pizza rolls, so I guess you went with pizza rolls. Then.
But not pizza rolls. I want a pizza.
I was going to say, do you roll up the,
No.
do you do the burrito, the pizza burrito?
No. I cook
You're
up.
weird.
No, I cook.
You actually cut slices into a Totino's?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so weird.
But bagel bites is like 9 pizzas.
Yeah.
I don't play around with that.
Oh, man. We're
It's
gonna have
not
to talk later.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the next one is from Nico. Nico wants to know, what's y'all's favorite video game of all time? Oh, man. Every time we ask somebody this on our Omegle videos, they have the same reaction that we're having right now.
I'll just jump right to it.
Yeah.
It's either and I can't pick one. But it's a tie between Super Mario Galaxy and Metal Gear Solid 4.
Ooh.
Those are my two favorite.
Tristan, you got one?
Just shooting from the hip, I'd have to say Resident Evil 4.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. Show me Resident Evil 4. If I'm rushing myself, which I'm going to because I don't want to sit here and take up too much time, I guess I'm going to steal one of our Omegle videos contestants, I guess you can call participants. He said Pokemon Red and Blue. Every now and then I will revisit that game, and never has a game come out that is so old. That game is old. I think it came out like 93 or something. What was it? It was like maybe even older. I don't know, 89 or something. It's still easy to go back to. It's still fun to go back to, and I'd say once every other year I still go back to Red and Blue. They need to remake that one. That would be awesome.
I think they have.
Did they?
Yeah. I actually preferred gold and silver more than red and blue.
Most people say that, and the only reason why I say red and blue is just only because of the original 151. Once they started adding new ones, I
like the original 151. I would agree that those are the de facto, like, the Pokemon you should be talking about, but I think the gameplay improvements in gold and silver were worth it. Yeah.
Okay. We got another question. I don't really understand it, so I'll just ask it. It's from Devin Wade. He goes, cardboard?
Like Google Cardboard, I'm assuming?
Probably talking about pizza, the bagel bites.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like actual something game related.
Maybe. So we got another one from Mark. Getting a lot of non-video game questions, but whatever. How do you like your eggs? I like them over easy.
Can't eat them.
What?
Yeah, I get sick. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh God, that's terrible. That's so terrible. That's so. I was gonna say awful, and then I changed to horrible, and the terrible.
Awful doesn't start with an H either.
I don't know.
I would say scrambled, or if it's on like a bacon, egg, and cheese, like over hard. If it's on a burger, over medium, over easy. Yeah, or sunny side up.
And Devin Wade asks, what is your best alcoholic drink, the one you drink while playing. I don't really drink while playing.
Me neither.
But I would say, and people who know me know this, unfortunately, even though it's embarrassing, I do understand, that it is not necessarily good, but I like it. Fireball. I like me some Fireball. What about you, Tristan?
I don't really drink that much when I'm playing, but probably just beer. Just in general.
Yeah, I mean, beer is also up there with me.
Yeah, anything Stone Cold Steve Austin drinks. So it's typically Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Light, any of those.
Tears of Children.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then Nico also says his favorite Pokemon is Fireball. Fire Edition. Oh. Fireball. Nico likes Fireball. So we got another one. What is your biggest video game pet peeve? So mine, this one immediately came to mind. It was no option to skip the hand-holding parts of the game. Where they're like, so all of a sudden there's a thing in your way. It's like, press A to jump. No kidding. It's always A. It's always X. I think the only time that they should have that is when it is not A or X. If it is not the bottom button, then just at least give me the option to skip it. I know how to jump. I can figure out how to crouch. If I really need to know how to play the game, I'll just look at the control scheme. I hate when they walk you through stuff like that. Press X to hit. No kidding. What about you?
I would say escorts that are either too slow for you to run next to them or too fast for you to walk next to them.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like how like Assassin's Creed and stuff will just have hold the button to just follow.
Yeah, I hate that.
That's a great implementation.
When you have to, because you even in games where you're trying to role play a little bit and you're like, they're walking, so you're trying to like inch forward, but then you end up just kind of doing a light jog, stopping. Light jog, stop. What about you, Chris?
Not enough hand holding. Like, for example, I don't mean hand holding, but like anything that's open worldy that like it's like, hey, you got to figure everything out. I can't stand that. I need a little bit of. I think it was Dead Space. I want to say it was Dead Space, where you could like click. I think you could click like the joystick and it would just light up like a little path on the floor of like just which direction you should be going in. That kind of stuff I enjoy. When it's like Breath of the Wild, I'm looking right at you. When it's stuff like that, can't stand it. I need a little bit of assistance.
Yeah. The next one is, what are your thoughts on the Friday the 13th game? So I kind of wanted to talk about this for a second. So if you haven't heard, actually, most people have heard, even non-gamers have heard that there's a Friday the 13th game because it keeps getting shared, and all they're sharing are these little quick clips and sometimes even just cinematics of people getting brutally killed, which, that's the thing. It came out, and yeah, the kills are brutal, but the game is broken as hell, and I've been calling it for the longest time. Anytime they show gameplay, like, that looks broken, or they're not showing enough gameplay to convince me otherwise. And it turns out I was freaking right. Everybody was so excited, and this game is just garbage. It's fun, but there was another game that came out called Dead by Daylight, which has way better mechanics, way better, way less bugs. It just doesn't have the Friday the 13th game, and it's the exact same game. It is the exact same game. You play survivors or you play the killer. That's it. So that's what I wanted to say. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's stupid that just because it has the license of Friday the 13th that everybody's getting so excited about it, but everybody forgot about Dead by Daylight. It came out a while ago. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares about it. I think that sucks.
This is a really cool idea, but as I said, it seems to be a buggy mess. I've watched a couple of streamers play it, and I guess depending on who's using like the voice comms, it can be really entertaining. Not as far as like being in the game is concerned, but just people being ridiculous kind of makes it enjoyable.
I mean, it kind of turns into what Friday the 13th is, which is a campy mess.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to knock the game for that, but I don't think that they put all those bugs in there to make it,
like
enjoyable.
A bad movie.
Yeah.
They fumbled it.
Now I think that they had a couple of character animations, like the facial animations, that were very, very silly. And some people are saying, oh, it was intentional. It was not. I think that was intentional. Because, like, some of the characters, when they get surprised, they, like cartoon, like,
and their face stays that way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah. So, that's fine, and I wouldn't mind that, but you can't excuse bugs. I hate bugs. All right, what's your favorite candy?
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat. Sour Patch Kids.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, no question.
Cool. Nico wants to know which GTA is your favorite. Hands down 5.
5?
You can't really.
I have to say 4.
What?
I didn't beat 5. I was tired of it.
But it's the best game ever made.
You know me. Like once I get to a certain point where if I'm like 20, 30 hours into a game, I'm done. Like I don't care to play anymore.
But
no, I didn't beat it. And I've gone back to it a few times, and I've been like, oh my god, I'm like 20 hours away from even getting Trevor, and yeah, I'm not. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's the most impressive of all of them. But like, I actually finished 4. That's the only one I feel like I'm qualified to say, because that's the only one I ever beat.
All right, I'm gonna do one more question from here, and then one more question from here. Devin Wade wants to know, how many characters did you have survive on Until Dawn? Did you guys play Until Dawn?
Yes.
Okay, how many do you have survive?
I think I only lost 2 of them. 2? So I don't remember how many was in the full cast.
All of them survived because I didn't fire up the game. Never played it.
Oh, I was gonna say all of mine. All of yours died because you didn't do the game. All of mine survived. I don't know how. Normally in games like that, like everybody dies. You know, I screw up somehow. You know, but somehow in this game, I made all the right decisions, and everybody survived.
Yeah, I was just tired of staying up so late to play it. Like I would get tired and fall asleep because I didn't want to wait until dawn to play it.
Nice.
I want that silence there. Normally, I don't want silence. I was like, that was so good. I loved it. That was so good. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take one more from the Stolen Batch. Pitch a game that is set in Jacksonville. So we mentioned it a couple times. I think we all agree because we talked about this before we started. It's so easy to say, and there was that rumor, but it's not going to happen. It's so easy to say Grand Theft Auto. Here's my argument for it. Jacksonville is pretty much just like every other city, you know. It's nothing really special, but the one unique thing I've noticed from any other city I've been in, with the exception, of course, of New York, which is the best example of this, or, you know, even like California, which is even better. Jacksonville has these little biomes almost. You know, you have the Riverside crowd, which, you know, you have, and each biome is almost like an exaggerated version of people. So you have the ultra hipsters in Riverside. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but, you know, you have a demographic of people like this. So you have the ultra hipsters in Riverside. You have the posh people downtown, the business, you know, yuppies or whatever. You know, you have the, you know, rich jerks of a-holes of Avondale. You have the, you know, the surfer stoners down at the beaches. You know, you have the ghetto north side. You have all these different biomes, and I feel like they can really capitalize on that in the sense that you could have these extreme characters. I mean, already, and I hate to say this because I'm a huge Jaguars fan, you have kind of a joke of a football team. I hate saying that. I freaking love the Jaguars, but if Grand Theft Auto did something like that, they can really play on that. You know, they can make them really, really bad, like just god-awful bad. And I don't know, I think it's possible to make a game. I just don't think it would sell because nobody cares about Jacksonville.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I think like an LA noir, like taking the GTA vibe but putting it back like in the 30s of like old Jacksonville. Again, only people in Jacksonville would care about that. But like, you know, driving cars around like old 5 Points and stuff like that and solving crimes or something might be kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so now let's move on to what we are playing. I think we just did that. I didn't do mine. I finished. I mentioned that I finished Battlefield 1. I kind of went back to Battlefield 4. I've really been enjoying that. I forgot how much fun that game is. It's a fantastic game. I got nothing else. That's it. I'm waiting on GameFly to send me For Honor. Taking so long, dude. I don't know what's going on with GameFly. So yeah, you can send us your questions on Facebook, facebook.com/DownrideFierceGaming. Now we are going to move on to Video Game 20 Questions. I came up with a game right before the podcast, and that's how it is every single week. Right, like we have 10 minutes before the podcast. I'm like, video game. Oh, how about this one? I look it up. That's what we're doing. So they have to guess the video game, and they can only ask yes or no questions. And I could only give yes or no, or sometimes, or maybe, or I don't know. Let me Google that.
Or be careful with that answer.
Or be careful with that answers. And that's it. So, start.
Go ahead.
Did it come out after January 1st, 2000?
No.
So...
Was it an exclusive when it was originally released?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just, because I always forget, so we're counting PS1, Dreamcast.
Well, I mean, it's before 2000, so literally every video game console.
Right. No, but what I'm saying, though, is that, like, when we talk about, like, generations, I'm trying to think what we count in those generations.
Yeah.
We need to have that, like, written somewhere.
Yeah, well, pick one console from that generation.
So is it of the... I say, hold on, you said it was exclusive?
Was exclusive when it was released.
Do we count 8 and 16-bit as two different generations? Or the same generation?
Well, that would be like Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
that's two different
generations. Two different things?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So was it of the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16 generation?
No.
Okay. So it's either really old or more recent.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know if you saw... I know you didn't see last week. Jacob, it was
like question 3.
Did the game come out after January 1st, 2000? The answer was no. And he goes... Actually, no, the answer was... Wait, what?
It was no.
It was something like that. And there was an entire just laundry list of games that he could have chosen, or consoles he could have chosen. He goes, did it come out for Sega Genesis? And I was gonna be like, well, normally I would say pick a generation, but yeah, no, it did.
He jumped right to it.
Right to it.
All right, so it's not 16-bit, so it's either going to be 8-bit or...
I keep hitting your mic. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Either 8-bit or in the PlayStation and 64.
There's so many. There's so many.
Did it come out for the PlayStation and N64 generation?
Yes.
Okay. And it's an exclusive.
And that includes
Dreamcast or no? Because Dreamcast was right before 2000.
Yes.
Well, that's not many games, though. Like, you know what I mean? That's 3 months worth of games, if you think about it. So that should really probably be in the other. Anyway, so it's in the N64, PlayStation 1 generation, and I would assume Sega Saturn.
That's 4.
Well, I didn't ask that question.
No, we're on 4.
Okay, yeah.
That's not a new question.
Is it a... is it a platformer?
It is not. I don't know why I hesitated on that.
Is it an RPG?
No. And also, you guys in the chat, you can ask questions. Remember, they have to be yes or no questions. Ooh. And if it's a good one, then I will let them use that question. I'll only pick ones that will give them an answer closer to the game. No colluding.
We're not colluding.
Actually, no. You can completely collude. Collude away.
Go for it. Guess that one.
I think that's.
You think it's a burning one?
I think it's assumed. I think there's like 9 out of 10 games in that generation that were 3D.
Mark actually has a very good question. If you want to use it, I don't think I'm going to do penalties. I think we'll do one. So if you want to use his, or you want to wait for a better question.
Are we allowed to see what the question is?
No.
No. I'm fine with it. I don't really have anything solid right now.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you want to wait till later, and then we can go back to Mark's question, because somebody might ask a better question.
No, I'm fine with Mark's question now.
Okay. He wants to know, is it single player? It is.
Exclusively single player?
Exclusively single
player.
player.
So no multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
No 2-player. No online multiplayer. Well, there really wasn't online at the time. Not for consoles.
Yeah, I mean,
Dreamcast did that.
Do you play as a human?
yes.
All right, so single player, human, exclusive.
Not RPG.
I mean, there's really only 3 consoles, the Saturn being the least popular, so should we nail down if it's PlayStation or N64?
Go for it.
Is it on the PlayStation?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. That's 9 questions.
So, single player. Did they make sequel? Like, how do we word that question? Is it not part of a franchise?
Is it the first in a series?
Yeah, the first in a series. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Single player. You do play as a human. First in a series. PlayStation.
Correct. That's 11. No.
Not a platformer.
Not a platformer.
Not RPG. Nope. Is it first person?
Nope.
Okay, so it's third.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Mark asked that too.
Should we go sort of genre?
Just so you know, you're 2 away.
I know.
From
That's what's burning. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Alex breaking records.
Alex.
Breaking records.
He said I like.
I like breaking records. 2 away from the record. Never mind.
I don't understand what's happening.
Never mind.
Okay.
Okay, this is where... Okay, so first in the franchise, you play as a human. I think it might be a little redundant to ask if you play as multiple characters.
I'm good with it if you are.
I mean...
I just don't... I don't think that that's very valuable in this case.
Save that until if we don't beat the record.
Yeah.
Pressure.
I mean, to be safe, I would say you should have one more question that really brings you in, like really gets you like right there, because if you guess the game and you guess incorrectly, then that's it. You just lose.
Is it?
Because you only have one question where you can,
Is it survival horror?
That's a great question.
Oh
no.
man.
No, that was a great question though. Sorry, bud.
So it's not Resident Evil, because I was like, I'm trying to think like what? Okay.
Not survival horror.
Plays a human. First of a friend or in a series.
Do you want to go like setting as far as genre is concerned, like fantasy?
Sure,
sci-fi?
go ahead.
Is it a sci-fi game?
I can't really pinpoint that. I don't know.
So then that doesn't count as a question.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't want to answer that because you can argue either way. You can really argue either way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
I feel like I always leave myself more confused.
Yeah, with like your mythical creatures. Yeah. What game was that for? That was last week. That was
Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah, we did. It was Aladdin, and he asked if there was mythical creatures. I'm like,
yeah,
but be careful.
Yeah.
Which I almost did for this question, but you could really argue either way.
All right, so now I'm starting to think of others. I'm starting to think of like. So it's not Silent Hill, but I'm starting to think of like Siphon Filter. What was the other one? SOCOM. Wasn't that on PS1?
You said it's not first person, though, wasn't?
SOCOM was third person,
was
so
it?
was Siphon
Okay.
Filter. I'm just trying to think of. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, so far the track record of somebody going, "Oh, hold on," like I'd say like 3 out of 7 times. So actually, maybe that's not that good of a thing.
I don't know how to. Is it like? Oh my God! Is it? How do I word this? Is there like espionage? Like, is it like a spy type game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's either Siphon Filter or Metal Gear Solid. Are we at the record or are we already passed it?
You're at the record, so you'd have to either.
Well, if we guess, that counts as a question, right?
If you
guess and you guess incorrectly, then it's over.
I know that there were sequels to both. I think it's Metal Gear Solid.
That's how I'm leaning.
So what do you do? Do you risk it all and tie the record? Or do you play it safe?
Metal Gear Solid.
That's your final answer?
Yes.
Yes.
You're correct. Yep. It's Metal Gear Solid. So now, would you call that science fiction? because here's the thing. There's science there, and there's machines that we can't build yet.
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis, stuff like that. Nano machines and all that
cloning.
Stuff. But here's the thing. And here's the crazy part. So it came out in 1998, developed and published by Konami, PlayStation exclusive. Now somebody pointed out in the comments that it came out on other consoles, but it came out exclusively when it was released, and that's how we were trying to stick.
That's how I worded it.
It could be re-released. It was actually re-released for the PC
first. Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea it came out to PC. No idea. Now it's action adventure stealth. What year do you think that game takes place?
Oh, it's not that far from now. I feel like it's
it's actually it's not even far from now.
It's now?
No, it's 2005.
Oh, really?
It takes place in 2005. It came out in 1998.
Yeah.
But it takes place in 2005.
Yeah. I remember thinking that when I was playing it, like, oh, this isn't that far from now.
Yeah.
And now we're past it.
So, and then again, we get into sci-fi. Typically, you think, futuristic, and it is futuristic. You could really argue either way, but yeah. So that's it. We did it. This is kind of a short episode, but hey, you tied the record. You tied the record. So good job, guys.
Good job. Boom.
So that's it for us. Make sure you follow us and like us on Facebook.com/DownrightFierceGaming. It helps out a lot. Also, we release new episodes. I say this at least 3 times an episode. Release new episodes every Monday on Podbean. Now I'm doing it out of order, so I'm screwing up. iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Stitcher. Please rate us because it helps out a lot. Leave comments and do all that. Tell everybody we're amazing. We also have merchandise, which I'm wearing one right now. Downright Fierce shirts. I released a bunch of joke shirts that really only make sense to people who watch our special content. I didn't have inside jokes for the actual podcast because there's a little bit too much content to go back, but all the inside jokes are from... a lot of it's actually from the Omegle videos, which I highly recommend you watch because I am so proud of them.
Was mine from the group chat?
Yeah, or it was in person. I remember you telling me at some point, because originally Chris had a different picture for the logo, and he's like, no, do one where I'm not smiling. Like, okay. So yeah, you can buy our merchandise, teespring.com/DownrightFierceGaming. All the money we make from that goes right back into the podcast. The next thing we're going to buy are nice stools for them because they're guaranteed their butts are asleep right now. Also, you can give us money on patreon.com/DownrightFierce. $2 a month gets you all of our exclusive content 1 week early. So we still have a couple days before we're going to release the full interview with Live in the Game. But the Patreon subscribers had access to that first, so they got to see it first. And then with the Patreon thing, we also thank you at the end of the episode. So we want to thank our Patreon subscribers, Mark Mayfield. Thank you, Mark Mayfield.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And Jeff Knight, who just got engaged.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff Knight.
Somebody's going to be a best man.
Oh, snap.
It's not.
I'm very excited. I accept that.
I'm just assuming he hasn't asked yet, but I'm just assuming
it's going to be me. Yeah, it's going to be me.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, we want to thank Brian Altano for letting us use his music, even though he probably doesn't listen. The same to Damon Hatfield, who also lets us use his music. Again, he's probably not listening because they're famous people. Well, like D-list celebrity famous. I mean, people know them and get excited to see them on the street. So we also want to thank our executive producers, Brian Kaminsky and Andrew Kirkendall. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
There it is. You can follow us on Twitter at DRF Podcasts, twitch.tv/DRF Podcasts. Brandon's actually going to be doing some Let's Plays pretty soon. We're also going to get some Let's Plays from Live in the Game. Live in the Game, that's what it's called. Possibly. We're talking about it. We might be able to do some exclusive content for their games, which is pretty exciting. And that's it. Go watch our Omegle videos. Go call your mother.
Peace out,
and,
brother.
See ya. Goodbye. Ciao. I don't like that ending.